Hi, this is Michael Port. I'm giving a keynote speech at a book writing event, book publishing event called Book Breakthrough, New York City, in about 2-3 weeks. And I was thinking about the keynote, and I just wanted to give you a little bit of an insight into one of the things that I want to talk about in this keynote. Okay. If you don't, you might not be aware, but my first career was as an actor. And I had a modicum of success, which means a little bit of success. I was on a lot of the TV shows that you might have watched in the 90s or the late 90s, and did a lot of voiceovers and commercials. And voiceovers was actually my bread and butter in between jobs. But I quit because, for a whole host of reasons, which I won't get into now, but one of them was I did not have the maturity at the time to be able to deal with the constant rejection, day in and day out, of just trying to get jobs and being told no over and over again, even when you're lucky enough to get some jobs. So anyhow, but I quit. And in retrospect, I realized there was something that I was doing that was a big mistake. And you can relate this to book publishing as well. And the reason I think I became successful quickly as an author is because I learned this mistake as an actor, and I did not repeat it as an author. The way an actor gets a job, or tries to get a job, is if they have an agent, which you basically need. You don't really survive without an agent. If you have an agent, you get they'll submit you for a job to a casting director who's put out a proposal saying we need actors for this kind of role. They'll submit their actors, and the casting director says, yes, I'll see this person, this person, this person, or no, I won't see this person. Then you get a script, or just sides, which are a few pages from the script, and you go in and you do your first audition. And the first audition is usually put on tape, the way this is being done, and it's for the casting director. And then the tape might be sent out to LA for a casting director in LA to see it, or a producer, or a director, whomever. Or the casting director just decides who they're going to call back because to see the director or the producer or both in the next round. So there's a number of different ways that it can happen, but basically there are a number of different rounds that you go through. First audition, first callback, second callback, maybe third callback, producer meeting, director meeting, maybe screen test, on and on from there. And I mean, look, I was watching a documentary of the chorus line. They did a chorus line a number of years ago. They brought it back, a revival. That's the word I was thinking of. And I was watching the documentary of the casting of the revival of a chorus line, which is about casting. And it was an 8-month process. These actors had to go through 8 months of auditions before they found out if they got it or not. So imagine that, 8 months, and then being told no. It's amazing. So the mistake that I made was trying to figure out what other people wanted. Now, a little bit of that is healthy, but too much of that can be detrimental to the creative process. Because ultimately, in theater or film, the casting director, the producer, the director, they're all looking to the actor to come in with the answers. Now, the director wants to help shape the performance. The producer wants to, have their say. The casting director wants to feel like they're the ones who discovered the actor, whatever it is. But ultimately, all of them are just trying to make sure that they don't mess up, honestly. And I say this with all due respect to them. The casting director just wants to make sure that they're bringing in people that make the producer and the director happy. Because it's very easy to fire a casting director, bring in another casting director, and then just bring in really the same people over again. It's easy to blame the casting director if you're not finding the people that you want. The director, let's say it's for a movie, the director may, it may be their first big feature film. Maybe they've been doing music videos for the last number of years, and they just got the nod to helm a $150 million feature film for Universal. And they don't really know how to work with actors. They know how to create incredible visual images. And so they're just hoping that they don't get discovered, that they don't know what the heck they're supposed to say to the actor. And the producer just wants to make sure that the thing sells, that they've got, the hottest actor, the best, person for the job that's going to make the thing sell. And if you're too worried about what they think, you're going to water yourself down. And that's not very good for a performer. Same thing is true for an author. You have an agent who's repping you, or you may not. You have an editor who is the one that you're sending your proposal to. You have a publisher who is in charge of the division that that editor works for. You have other editors in that division who are on what's usually called the publishing board that makes the decisions on what scripts that they're going to buy. You have a marketing board, which includes marketing and sales personnel that are involved in decision making as well. So you've got all these different people who have to, say yes. And if you are overly concerned with what each individual thinks, you're going to water yourself down. And whether it's the agent or the editor or the publisher, they all want to feel very influential, and they all should be influential, and many of them are incredibly talented. I've worked with some extraordinarily talented people in that business. But ultimately, they're looking to you for the answers. They want to know that you know how to make the thing sell. They want to know that you know what the cover should look like. They want to know that you have the answers. Now, that can be overwhelming, certainly, but at the same time, if you take that approach, if you take that very confident, not arrogant, but very confident approach to putting your work forward, and take it one step at a time, not trying to sell the book the first meeting you have with somebody, but just trying to get the first meeting to get the call back, to get from the call back to get the second call back, from the second call back to get the third call back, so on and so forth. So you take it one step at a time, one day at a time, and you build those relationships. But ultimately, each one of them just wants to make sure that they keep their job, that they buy the right book, that it sells, in the way that they, needed to sell to keep their jobs, etc. So really, they're looking to you. And so the big question is, what are you bringing to the table? Right? What are you bringing to the table? And have you done your homework to make sure that what you're bringing to the table has extraordinary value? So that's all I'm going to say for today. Thanks so much for listening. This is Michael Port signing off, saying I love you very much, and not in a weird way, I promise, but for standing in the service of others as you stand in the service of your destiny. That's all for now. Peace.